Hey guys, what I'd like to do in this video is describe an attitude toward using AI that makes it actually useful rather than ending up with generic, off topic, or just meh responses and outputs. Whether you're someone who has ignored AI till now because it's too complicated, unreliable, or just pointless, or you're somebody who uses it fairly regularly, I'll show you my top 6 tips for getting the most out of it. If you're just starting to use AI right now because you're curious or you might feel you've missed the boat, don't worry. I can see what might have been holding you back. And just by showing interest in videos like this one means that you're still ahead of the majority. And there's no time like the present to get started. I think a lot of people suffer from choice paralysis. Like there are so many AI platforms and tools and models, and you just don't know where to start.
Seriously, even I got confused. And let's face it, half the tutorials out there make it worse.
It's all moving so fast and it's hard to keep up. Maybe you've tried ChatGPT when it first came out and thought, well, it's cute and it's pretty clever, but it hallucinates and what can it actually do? And then you gave up. So, just a little bit about me. My last real job was as the creative director for Dark Horse Comics. Those are the guys that made Hellboy and Emily the Strange, if you've seen them before. About 5 years ago, I started a boutique design agency specializing in creating brand mascot characters. And at the same time, I'm a pop artist with some limited success licensing my artwork, especially in Asia. I think that the value of human created stuff is only going to rise, especially as AI becomes more ubiquitous. About 2 years ago, I got kind of obsessed with AI, not because of what it could do at the time, but because it looked like we were on the cusp of a genuine technological revolution. Especially in the last 6 months, it's become genuinely capable to the extent that I've now started a company that helps other companies start to use AI in their workflows. So on to what I think is the best way to use AI. If you take away anything from this video, it would be iteration, experimentation, and giving context. And you'll see what I mean as we go along. My first tip is use it kind of as often as you can. Get comfortable with it. Whenever you have any kind of question that you might ask a friend or a coworker, just wonder to yourself, I wonder what ChatGPT would think of that. Here's a list of things that I use AI for all the time. Basically anything professional or personal. AI can probably help you do it smarter, faster, cheaper, or all three. One use case is therapy. I studied clinical psychology at university, and throughout my life, I've had about 5 therapists. I've been absolutely stunned by how empathetic and insightful ChatGPT 4.5 in particular can be. Like, really call me on my bullshit. They say 2025 is the year of agents, and that's exactly how it's shaping up to be. I don't think that we are too far off from having our own little mini Jarvises in our pockets. So in the meantime, use it, get comfortable with it, and experiment with it. And sometimes it might just blow you away. So tip number 2, don't treat it like a Google search. Talk to it the way you would a really smart coworker. Sam Altman, the guy in charge of OpenAI, recently talked about a difference between how older people use ChatGPT and how younger people do. Older people tend to use it more just for getting information, and younger people tend to use it more like a companion to help them make life decisions. The point here is less superficial than it seems. In the one case, you've got a robot that just recalls facts. And in the other, you've got a complicated brain that understands every nuance and highly personalized information, which gives you reasoned answers that take into account every specific question being asked. So that leads into tip number 3. Tell it everything that you can about the question or the problem that you're trying to solve. The more information that you give it, the better the answer will be. And don't worry about trying to be a prompt engineer. It's not about how clever your prompts are. It's about how much information you're giving it. So, for example, I think in a very non-linear way, and I've always got like 10 competing thoughts in my head. So I just talk to it freeform. I don't type. I just hit the microphone button and unload my thoughts as they come to me. I backtrack, I ramble in a completely unstructured way, just to try and give it as much information as I can. So let's do a quick demo with a generic prompt. I'm just going to talk straight to it. Briefly, in one paragraph, describe to me how I can improve my mascot design business and grow it. Okay, I'm sure that's great. Let's try again. In one paragraph, describe to me how I can improve my mascot design business. We've struggled in the past to get customers because it's such a niche type of design, though we have had success in Asia. The company is called Flube Creative. Look it up on the internet and see what you can find and tell me how to improve it. As you can see here, we've got a much more personalized response. It's got examples of where we've been quite successful before and telling me where to really lean into. So it's still a really short answer, but it's understood my business so much better than just that first generic prompt. Okay, tip number 4, get it to ask you questions so you can give it even more context. After you've put in your question, you can just say, ask me 5 follow-up questions. Even if you think that you've covered the problem from every angle, there's bound to be some stuff that you haven't considered that can help you get an even better answer. It might even surprise you with some of its questions and get you to think about your question more deeply. Let's try that as a follow-up to our last question. Okay, ask me 5 follow-up questions about my business and a strategy that might help improve your answer. What's my main revenue goal? Who are my ideal clients? What's been your most commercially successful project so far? How do most potential clients find you? Do you already have mascot IPs that you're trying to license or build into a universe? So those are pretty good questions that will then allow us to give more information, and then we're going to get an even more refined, more personalized response. Okay, tip number 5, get it to write prompts for you. I promise you, ChatGPT knows a lot more about prompting than those guys that are selling prompting lists. If you want to get a really clear, detailed, structured prompt, for example, with an image generator or using a deep research agent, just tell ChatGPT what you're trying to accomplish and to write that prompt for you. ChatGPT already knows a prompt structure that I know is effective for image generation. So that's in its memory. So it's probably going to use that. Here's an example. I want you to write me an image prompt for a robot at a party and use the prompt structure that you know that I prefer. Instead of just going to an image generator and writing a robot at a party where you have absolutely no control over what you're going to get, this gives you this really detailed breakdown with all of these little kind of ideas about lighting, color, mood, context. You can now go in and change any one of those things to create the image that is closer to what you have in mind. Tip 6, iterate. This is a big one. AI is not perfect, but that doesn't mean you should give up after the first output. Using some of the tips I've already mentioned, you can push it further, but don't stop there. It's not a question answer machine. It's a place to have an ongoing conversation, adding more details, going down rabbit holes, and correcting it where it goes wrong. And that doesn't just mean iterating in the same conversation with one model. You can ask a different model like Claude or Gemini the same question and see what you get. Then you can put your answers together and synthesize the information so that you have a more complete and better picture. I do this with deep research all the time. I get ChatGPT to write a prompt, then I feed it into deep research agents from OpenAI, Google, and Perplexity, and then I feed the 3 reports into a conversation with ChatGPT or plug them all together into a notebook LM. I think that anyone who's played with different image generators, and especially video generators, knows that you need to iterate a lot before you can finally get something that you're happy with. So there you have it. What do you think? Would you add anything else? Did I get anything wrong? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, subscribe if you're so inclined. All my links are down below. See you next time. Cheers.